I think continuity. They've never had a consistent team. They've never had their best 11 fit at any one time. New players have come in. I'm not sure whether they're actually Graham Potter's choices, but new players have come in all the same. So you've got to try and integrate them together. Injuries have come back, but I think the real problem has been goals. And you know, when you've got quality players, but you're not scoring goals, that's going to bring pressure on you straight away. Yeah. And not winning games. Chelsea are used to winning games. He's found it difficult, but he does need time, because we've seen it at Arsenal with Mikel Arteta. You know, there were people calling for his head. You do need time to get everything bedded down, to get the right balance in the team. Graham Potter needs a bit more understanding, and he needs people to back him from upstairs.
Yeah, he does. Mikel Arteta's even backed him as well, hasn't he? Even though he's a manager from across London, of course, a rival there, saying, I was given time, give him that time. But the stats just don't make for very good reading. If you're a Chelsea fan and you're looking at this, it's
painful.
It's not what you expect from Chelsea, and you wonder how on earth they're going to turn this around.
Yeah, look, for me, players used first. That's one thing you don't want to be. Quick turnover of players and not having a settled side. Goal scored 15th. Chelsea, this for their fan base. These three are painful to watch, to look at. And if you're going to be that team, if you're going to be a progressive team, you cannot have these numbers. And it's going to take a bit of time. I think fans understand that, but while you're trying to get there, you need results. And unfortunately, Chelsea haven't had that. Perennial game that they usually win was Spurs. Spurs turned them over. So people are going to start asking questions.
I mean, looking at this list, Chelsea first in the league, you've mentioned that, in terms of the most players used since his appointment. It's 31 players, in fact, as well. So is that part of the problem that Potter, he's yet to find his best team? Yeah.
Still to find his best team, but when you look at the actual most changes, he's way ahead at Chelsea. They're way ahead. What is it, 20, 25 more? Again, this is not good reading for anybody connected to Chelsea. I'm sure Graham Potter would much rather a more settled squad, more balance in it. But, welcome to the big boys. You go from Brighton to a Chelsea, and unfortunately, things have turned around. Noah Abramovich, etc. New regime, and this is the type of thing that can happen. It's unfortunate, but Graham Potter, by hook or by crook, has to get himself through this tough time.
As a former striker, why are they struggling so much in front of goal with the plethora of talent that they have? Would you find it tough playing in this team? And just look at some of these. 1 goal in 10 hours across all competitions is staggering.
It's crazy. I look at the team. I look at the quality of players. I look at Aubameyang being there as well, and he's coming on the pitch for like 7-8 minutes. And the team have been struggling for goals. Raheem Sterling, we know he scored 20 odd goals a season for a number of years at Manchester City. The key is the balance. You've got to get the balance right, and unfortunately, they just haven't been able to do that. Graham Potter needs to find a way. They've got to get some wins just to calm the jets of the fans a little bit. But I think it's crucial that they find a key at the top end of the pitch.
But what about playing the players that were brought in? You look at Mudryk, who you'd have just thought would be starting every game, perhaps, particularly in the Premier League. Are you surprised about that?
Yes and no. Am I surprised he's not starting? Yes, I can say that, because when he shelled that type of money out, you'd think he's going to be playing. But he's still he's a relative novice when it comes to high-level football. And being at Chelsea, they've got that much quality that if you're not doing it, the manager's going to change it.
It's Leeds at home on Saturday, followed by Tuesday's last 16, second leg against Borussia Dortmund. How crucial is this next week going to be for Potter? And do you think his future as well, potentially, that they'll have a look, the people above, and think, right, where do we go from here?
Two must-win games. Two must-win games. They have to beat Leeds at the weekend, and then you go into the Champions League. If you get through the Champions League,
Bit of a life-
But yeah,
lifeline.
you know, you get a little bit of a breathing space. Just a little bit, but you get a bit of breathing space. I think Graham Potter needs some of these players to step up big and really step up big for him this weekend and midweek.
We chatted a little bit, didn't we, about time. And I mentioned Mikel Arteta, who was given time.
Yes.
After a lot of criticism from fans, media, he was given that. And I mean, goodness me, look where he is now. Do you think Graham Potter will be looking at that as a bit of an example as, OK, he was given time, if I'm given the time, hopefully they will entrust that I can try and turn things around. And instead of, we've seen so many of the teams towards the bottom, what have they got in common? They've had many managerial changes.
That's right, and that's... Chelsea, by trade, have been the type of club who have just quickly changed managers. I think there has to be smart people at the top who say, right, look, we know there could be fans calling for the head of the manager. I think Graham Potter's a really good manager. He does need that time. He needs to be backed, and he needs strong minds upstairs because there might be a lot of flack flying around.